so much for joining me today. My name's Natasha, welcome to my channel, and this video is going to be an update for my project pan for 2021. I'm working on 7 products and some of them I'm getting really close to finishing, so I feel like I have a really good update to share with you today. Let's start with the blush. I'm super pumped about this because it's not every day I get to share this kind of progress, but I was working on the Hourglass Incandescent Electra blush, and I have hit pan on this. There were some holes forming in the product in my last update. You might even be able to see that in the before and after photos, but I wasn't at pan just yet. I used 0.4 grams in the last month, and I have mentioned in my previous update and maybe in other videos that I'm getting a lot of the ambient lighting powder and not so much of the blush at this moment, and so I feel like I'm using it more quickly than I did whenever it was brand new and there was more blush in the product. This is a baked product, and so it was originally domed and very thick in the pan, so having hit pan on it feels like an even bigger accomplishment because I had more product to go through, and I think I've worn it down relatively evenly, so that makes me feel very confident that I could have this done. Maybe not anytime soon, but at least by the end of the year if I continue using it as regularly as I do. My next product is a mixture of 2 bronzers. I had hit pan on the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula and the CoverFX bronzer in the shade Sunkissed, and instead of repressing them separately, I decided to mix them together and put them in this larger pan. This is an old pure bronzer. I did hit pan on it again, and it looks like the pan is really big, but the product around it is pretty thick. Couple factors to consider. I wear a lot of bronzer. I like to wear it pretty much all over my face, neck, and chest to make sure everything blends and matches. And I tend to wear even more when the summer months come. It is going to be getting warmer, so I'm going to be using even more bronzer than I already do. Second factor, this is a repressed formula. Repressed powders typically have more kick up, or they're just softer formulas in general, so they're easier to use up. Third factor to consider, both the CoverFX and the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula were very light shades, so it isn't a super pigmented, darker bronzer that I have to be careful with. It's one that I can apply pretty freely and liberally without having to worry about it being too dark. I think all those factors will help me finish this up more quickly. I do feel like I can have it done maybe within the next 2 months if I do focus on it. And if I'm able to do that, I'll have finished 2 bronzers in the first half of 2021. But keep in mind, both of them already had significant pan before I repressed them, so it's not like I have 2 full-size bronzers in here. Either way, I'm super pumped, and if I haven't mentioned already, I've used up 1 gram of bronzer in the past month. The highlighter I'm working on is this one from Becca. It's the Berlin Girl Glow highlighter, and I already had pan on it when I brought it into the project last month, and I have expanded the pan significantly. I have been focusing my brush on the outer portions, obviously, because that's where the product is. And so I do feel like the product around the pan is very, very thin. And this is a more natural color. It's very similar to my skin tone. It's a more natural finish. And once the warmer months come and I start wearing more low cut tops, I will also wear highlighter on my collarbones as well. I used 0.8 grams of this in the past month. I think that's also indicative of the formula. Becca highlighters are softer formulas and they are more natural in general, so you can really wear a lot of it and get a nice glow. So I'm excited. I don't know if I'll have this done in 2 months like the bronzer, but maybe 3 or 4 months if I focus on it. And I'm not super worried about using this one up because I did buy a backup back in 2019, so I have another full size of this shade in my collection already. I have a single eyeshadow in here and I only used 0.1 grams. I think the reason for that is because I do have 2 mid-toned crease shades in my Pan Those Eyeshadows quintet right now, so I'm not really focusing on this one. I do try to at least reach for it a handful of times between updates. You'll see in the photos maybe the pan has expanded slightly, but I'm not expecting this to be done anytime soon. I kind of just want to focus on it and maybe have it done by the end of the year. I think it would be really nice to maybe start going through my single shadows more. I just feel like my singles are very neglected, and this is one of my favorite eyeshadow shades I've ever worn. Petal Pressure is kind of like a cool toned purpley mid-tone shade. Beautiful. Now for my 2 lip pencils that I'm working on. The Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip pencil, I've used 0.2 grams. And I'm not really sure how far down I'll be able to get before it stops sharpening, but I've been really enjoying it. I'm wearing this whenever I'm wearing more nude lipsticks, and then wearing the other lip liner when I'm wearing more pinky lipsticks. I feel like I'm making decent progress on it. I do feel like the formula is getting a little bit drier, but remember, I lost this for like a year and then I found it again. So that might also be due to the age, but I still think it's a beautiful formula, beautiful color, and I'm really enjoying using it. And the other lip pencil, I've also used 0.2 grams, and that's from NYX. It's in the shade shade Bedrose. This is obviously a lot more pink than the Pillow Talk one. The NYX lip pencils also are much creamier than the Charlotte Tilbury lip pencils, so that's something to keep in mind depending on what formula you do want. On my lips today, I'm wearing another NYX pencil. This one is in the shade Disco Rage. This one is relatively new. I've only worn it a handful of times, so if you can see the major difference in size, I've used a ton of this product so far, and the last time I tried to sharpen it, the bottom part of the pencil started spinning, so I can twist it around now, and I'm not really sure how easy it's going to be to sharpen once I get a little bit lower on the pencil. So I do plan on using this at least a couple times a week, and if I don't have it as an empty in my next update, it'll definitely be done by the update after that. And the very last one is this setting spray from e.l.f. I used 18.9 grams, almost 19 grams of product. I'm hitting the very bottom of the bottle, and I do plan on reaching for this as often as I can to make sure I get it out before it gets too warm, because this really doesn't do anything to keep me from getting oily throughout the day. So I'm determined to have this done by next month, or at least be super, super close. So those are all the products I have to talk about. I'm really excited about some of these products being almost finished. Then I can roll in more summer appropriate products in their place. If you like project panning content, I do have a project pan playlist. I also do the Partners in Cream project pan where I focus on cream and liquid products. And I do the Pan Those Eyeshadows project where I focus on trying to hit pan on eyeshadows. So if you're interested in more content like that, I will have my project pan playlist linked in the cards. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!